Hello. It turns out that the microphone wasn't picking up, and I was talking quite a bit, so I wasted my time for 45 minutes talking into the talking. Nobody could hear me. It's probably a good thing nobody showed up. None of my friends showed up because nothing was coming out. Although it would have been nice if they had been, because then they could have said your microphone's not working. I'll just say hi, any audio. Hi, if the mic, if you hear no talking, please let me know. Alright, okay. Alright, so we're back again. I should have just dumped this list and do it again quickly. Probably. How do I get rid of this shit? How do I get rid of this shit? Log out. On. How do I delete that? Delete this tier list. No, that's the wrong one. Hold on. That's the wrong one. I don't know where it is. I don't know. Oh, there it is. How do I get rid of this now? I want to get rid of this and start again. Shit. Shoot rock, yeah. I want to get rid of this and start again. How do I do that? How do I clear? How do you clear? How do you clear things? Do you just have to do this one at a time? You know what? We'll do it one at a time. We have to start again because I didn't get listen. I couldn't get my voice through the first time. You know, so I'll go through them quicker. I'm not going to spend as much time. You know, I'm not going to spend as much time on these guys. You know, let's see. Obviously, there'll be certain characters. We'll be here all bloody night. Right. Let's see here. Right. Get rid of some of the rubbish. He was. Maybe we should create another category here. Add row below. Yeah. What color to make it now? Make it blue. Blue. You know what? Why not? Why don't we just make loads of categories? So you got boring. You got annoying. And then you got whoops. Oh, I got mixed up there. Okay, you got annoying. You got right. Unknown. Right, so let me put annoying above boring. Atticus Rose is sort of like Alexis's goofy brother. There wasn't really much to the guy. I'll stick him in annoying. Might change that later. Right. That guy, there wasn't really much. Well, I don't know. Maybe have boring above. Maybe have him in boring. I don't know. I don't remember too much of this guy. I think this is Rex Goodwin, who was the brother. He had the spiders. Not really much to him other than that, really. This guy is the best character in Yugioh Arc 5. He's like Seto Kaiba, only he's more calm and collected. He summons every single Jill monster. Like he synchro summons XYZ, you name it, pendulum. He's the puppet master controlling the good guys. and how he sees fit. Moving on, this guy was actually a pretty good villain as well. Oh no, he's not a villain. He's a good guy. This guy is a villain. He starts off with a Cloud deck and he changes to an Exodia deck. He beats Chaz. He's a pretty good duelist. He beats Aster Phoenix before losing to Yugioh, but he's pretty strong. He's a bit of a dork, but that's what I like about him. Fuck's sake, I'm gonna have to go. I'm actually pissed off. Because I talked through all these guys, and my microphone didn't bloody pick up on it, so I'm gonna have to do it again. But yeah. Then you have these guys. The sound for their mid. They're sort of all right. You know, they want to take over kids' bodies, teenagers' bodies. They're all ruthless businessmen, which with crooked personalities. This guy was a pretty good villain. He only had 2 episodes, so I can't rate him any higher than that. But he played Jaden throughout that duel, and then he took all his friends away, and then as Jaden beat him, he says, "Now you're all alone in the world," and then he laughed and died. He's a pretty mad guy. Bones, nothing really special about Bones, other than being like a zombie guy. Professor Hawkins is a bit boring, let's be honest. He's quite a bit of a forgettable character. Aki, I don't know about Aki. Like, she's good as a villain, but then whenever she turns into a good guy, she gets a bit boring. I don't know. Put her in solid. And she's like a psychic sort of duelist. Yeah, I saw solid feels right, so it does. Dennis was a pretty good character. No, he's not the goat. Dennis is one of the best characters in Arc 5. He's like this sort of magician fella. I'm annoyed because I have to repeat what I was bloody saying before, but he's not quite what he seems. There's mystery to him, which makes him intriguing. This girl liked trains. She had a train deck. That puts her in mid alone. Axel Brody was pretty good. Pretty good character. He's at least solid. He could go up depending on what I remember. He had a lot of character. You know what? Axel Brody goes in there. He worked on one side, then he worked for the good guys after. He wasn't afraid of anything. He had a burn deck that was pretty strong, and then he had to stand up for things at the end. You know what? I'm just gonna do something else because I did this before, and I'm pissed off because I'm pissed off. You know what? Let's just I'm just not gonna talk about stuff I've already talked about. I know because I did the stream. Cut off. I don't want to talk about the same things I already went over again. So, he was annoying. He was boring. I mean, he was annoying. He was mid. Where'd I have him? Unknown. He was boring. Don't know him. She was boring. Unknown. Oh no, hold on. She's boring. He was boring. Don't know her. He was mid at least. Where'd I have her? Mid, I think. She was annoying. He was pretty good. Where'd I have him? Mid, I think. Mid. Annoying. I'll just put him in the annoying one. Don't know him. He was solid. Where'd I have the R guys now? Unknown. Boring. I put him beside his buddy. He was annoying. He was boring. probably the best boring character. I liked him. Right. I don't know. I don't know where to put this girl. Damn it. She's at least been boring. Right, hold on. This guy was interesting. Right, hold on. I don't know him. I don't know. Those guys are funny. He was pretty good. She was pretty good as well. He was a bit boring. He's boring. I think we've caught up now. I think we've. This is a movie character. I forget his name. He was in the last Yugioh movie. It came out in 2017. He was the villain. I thought he was interesting. He's at least mid. He has special powers and shit. Dr. Faker. Yugioh Zaxel. He was alright. Bit of a nutcase. I don't know him. Oh no, hold on. I do know him. He was in. He was one of the opponents, one of the god characters, but he didn't have enough development. Don't know him. Dr. Crowler. Dr. Crowler's a good character. I like Dr. Crowler. Is it Mr. or Mrs.? It's Doctor. He had an ancient gear deck, and he was always like the comic relief. Duke Devlin. Duke Devlin was alright. He was obsessed with Dice and Joey's sister. His Julian was okay. He was a good buddy for Tristan. I don't know him. She was boring. She looked like a man. She wasn't really much to her other than her devotion to Adrian. She's quite disillusioned. No, she wasn't annoying, but she's probably a bit boring. Don't know you. Oh yeah, that boy. I remember this boy. I remember this guy. He's boring. It wasn't really much to him. He was kind of like, he was outside the thing, and then Charles was like, "What are you?" And he's like, "Please, I just need one card to get into the gates." And then he got in. He wasn't really much, and then he was the principal, but this little shit was annoying. I actually thought those two were annoying. I remember this boy. He didn't get enough character development. He was sort of like this pimp, where though instead of whores, it was duelists in the underground. He didn't have enough character development. That's the problem. Oh yeah, hold on. He was in the. Put him beside his girlfriend. Where's his girlfriend? Right, this guy didn't get enough. Why is there's too many characters in this bloody list? So this guy didn't get enough character. He probably would have been interesting if he had got more character development, but he didn't. I don't know you. I actually like this guy. This guy was funny, but unfortunately he only had 2 episodes, I think. And he sounded like Scooby-Doo, but he had the voice of Goku. He's like one of the most evil characters in the show. He's like, "I'd hunt those little critters and keep them in." He'd hunt the jail spirits and keep them in cages. And go, "I'll keep them in cages and just keep them tied up." It's just, you have to watch the episodes he's in. He's quite funny, but he just doesn't have enough episodes. I don't know you. This girl, she didn't get enough time. These girls didn't get enough time. Her and her, like, she could have been a good character, but she just didn't get enough episodes. I didn't like this guy. I thought this guy was an absolute dick. I'm actually putting him at the bottom. The bottom of the characters that I know out of all this list, I think he's the worst Yu-Gi-Oh character. He's like obsessed with being liked by children. He's just very creepy. I don't like him. This guy was boring. There's Big Gon, Big Yawn. Big Yawn was alright. He wasn't bad. He was alright. Put him in mid for now. He was a big tough guy. He had to improve himself. He didn't want to be in the main character's shadow. Put him in mid. Gozoboro Kaiba was like a very he was like a ruthless businessman. He sort of turned. He's the reason why Seto Kaiba turned as ruthless as he did. He was kind of rushed as a villain at the end, but he had an interesting backstory. I put him in mid. You're like even more boring than your other sister. Oh, this guy. Why the hell's he? Why is this guy in the friggin' list? I put you there. This guy only had one bloody episode. He didn't get enough screen time. He had one duel. Didn't have enough. And even though his soul got restored, we never saw him again. So I don't know. This guy didn't get enough screen time either. So we're not going to talk about him. Hold on. Let's just. Hold on. I don't like children. I don't know you. I don't know you. Right, okay. There's the granny. The granny was born. The granny didn't really do anything. Right. The Supreme King is. I like the Supreme King. I thought he was a solid villain, completely ruthless. He's Jaden's alter ego. Aside from that, you don't really get much of a backstory on him. He's just like this evil dude. But he was like an obstacle that who's your man, Axel Brody had to overcome. This girl didn't get enough screen time. So I'm gonna put her in boring. Like she was, you got glimpses of her that she was like this very intimidating, ruthless woman. But again, she didn't get enough screen time. We've seen her a bit at the start, and then she got forgotten about. So what else? This guy was interesting. He's like this kung fu fella, and he was quite ruthless of his kung fu. And he fought the main character twice. It didn't explain how he got to fight the character a second time when he went to the other world. I don't know how he even got there, but whatever. He's another character that really should have got more development, but he didn't. There's Shizu. Is that a Shizu as well? Sad. I don't know who that is. Oh, I'm just gonna throw her way down now. Shizu is a pretty interesting. She's probably the most intelligent character in the. Well, I wouldn't say intelligent because I'm thinking of the scientist. She's probably the most wise character to ever be in Yugioh. She gives a lot of exposition. She's okay. I don't mind her. This guy was kind of interesting. This guy. I liked how this guy. He tricked Shark into cheating by accident by he purposely placed his deck on purposely placed his deck in the final match of the tournament, and for somehow in the changing room, and somehow people caught out that Shrek looked. Did I just say Shrek? Somehow people caught out that Shark looked at this guy's deck when he wasn't there, and he got disqualified, which was stupid. Even if he did get caught out, he shouldn't have got disqualified for it. But yeah, he was a bit of a shithead, but that's what made him interesting, so he's in mid. Then you have your man, the man with the plan. What's his name again? What's his name? How have I forgotten this? The main rival of Yusei Fudo's name, Jack Atlas. Yeah, he's like this sort of. prima donna, um, jerk type character. He's like an obstacle the main character has to overcome, and him whenever he turns good, he turns into like this goofball, um, who doesn't know how to look after himself. So he turns into this sort of like intimidating. He turns from this intimidating guy who's at the top of the world, who the main character has to defeat, to a guy who's has to live with the common people, and he doesn't know how to do it, and he's struggling, and he's like comic relief, but he still knows how to fight in the duels. So I put him in. I like him. Then you have Jin Yuki. Actually, some people don't like Jin Yuki. I like Jin Yuki. I think he's a good character. He's a very cheerful, upbeat type of guy. Nom nom. He has the elemental heroes, which are the very strong deck. He's just like a very cheerful guy to be around. And then season 4, season 3, season 4, his personality gets darker. He grows up more. Very nuanced character at the end. Then you have this guy. This guy was the best of these two boys here. He was the best of the three because he was the brains of the operation. He's like Shikamaru from Naruto. And he came up with the whole strategy of beating the duelists, and they really should have won. They didn't. This guy is the voice of Pegasus in the English dub. I thought he was interesting, so I did. He's a bit like your guy Shikamaru over here, like planning things very meticulously. He's a bit like Pegasus, so if you like Pegasus, you should like him. Then you have Jesse. Jesse's alright. I don't see Jaden's obsession with him. He's supposed to be like Jaden. I suppose he's a wee bit, but he's like Jaden but less funny. He's alright, I suppose. He gets, what does he do? He wins duels. He's like this. He has like a country accent. He's alright. He's mid. I like this fella better, the crocodile guy. He has a crocodile and his deck's interesting. There's like these stones or fossils, that's what he has. What else does he do? He's quite brave in facing the Supreme King at the end. I like old Crocodile Man, Crocodile Dundee. I don't know you. Joey Wheeler. Joey Wheeler is the GOAT. Joey Wheeler is the best character in Yu-Gi-Oh in my opinion. He's got everything. He's got the comic relief down to a T, but he also has the heart, and he's not afraid to stand up for what he believes in, even when the odds are against him, which is often. And I like how he stands up to Kaiba, even though Kaiba humiliates him so many times. And he relies on luck. His decks, his duels are fun to watch because they're luck based, but then he also has these warrior cards mixed in. He's pretty good character. Who else do we have? You're annoying. I didn't like this girl because you know what? You're the second worst character because you had a relationship with a grown man, even though you're only a teenager, which is really creepy. So you're there. Although I suppose it's not her fault because she's just a stupid kid, isn't she? Maybe I'm being a wee bit harsh there. You can't really say the same thing because he's a grown man, but she's a teenager, so she's okay. Still a wee bit annoying. I need to organize these. I really need to organize these characters here. Oh, you know what? I'll do it later. That was the bully in the movie. could have been annoying. Jeez, there's so many freaking characters here. It's ridiculous. They've put too many in. Oh. This is ridiculous. Fuck. Right, you have the old man here. He was okay. Had a really weird voice in the English dub. He's like, my ancient beast. My vampire needs to feed. Stupid voice. He's mid. This guy was funny, but he didn't get enough screen time. He imitated different people perfectly. And I liked his Joe whenever he was the Pharaoh. He imitated the Pharaoh perfectly, and he used his deck. But he just didn't get enough screen time. This guy didn't get enough screen time. He was kind of the most boring out of the 7 Millennium Key holders, so just put him in boring. I don't know you. You're a wee bit boring as well. You're just kind of hot. That's your thing. Hold on. Get rid of some of these guys. This guy was an interesting villain. So he was. He was a pretty solid villain. He's one of the. I think he was the only on-screen duelist we see Yusei lose to. He was. But yeah, he was like he had these sort of ghost cards. He had the strategy was getting rid of cards in his hand, and then whenever he gets back to his senses, he's like this broken man. He's gone to the desert to duel and die, so he's interesting. A lot of people don't like the professor. I thought he was okay. So that he had this sort of grand vision of how to save the world by destroying all the other worlds and merging them into one. I thought he was an interesting enough character. But he doesn't really get his hands dirty. He's like the final boss at the end. This kid was... I usually don't like kids, but he was... For a kid, he was alright. Say he was. He had a good sense of humor. With his fairy tale deck. I didn't like this kid. Did my freaking head in. He's just whiny. Oh, I want to be the star of the show. And this friggin' power tool deck. This guy didn't get enough time. He didn't get enough time to shine. But he was an interesting villain. But he just he took over the city. He took over the town essentially. He betrayed his brother. And he was ruthless, but he didn't get enough screen time. This character was actually really annoying. I remember this little shit. He's really annoying. One of the villains. I don't know you. You're annoying as well, little girl. In fact, she's probably one of the worst characters in the show, I would say. Professor Banner. Professor Banner is interesting. You would tell he's like this kind of innocent, goofy, nerdy guy, and then he turns into a villain at the end. And then he's not a villain, but he's alright. He's not bad. He's not a bad spud. Don't remember that guy. My Valentine's probably my favorite female character in the show. I would say she's definitely solid. She's a lone wolf. Like she seduces men to get what she wants, and she cheated in the first. She used to cheat at the start, but then she turns into more of a skilled duelist, and then she gets annoyed because Joey Wheeler doesn't reciprocate his feelings for her, and then she sort of turns to the dark side, and she has to be saved. She has to be converted back and stuff. But yeah, she's sort of a tragic character in some ways. Sort of a lot of humanity to her, which is good. So I'll put her up there. This guy didn't get enough bloody episodes. He was, I gotta say he's mid. He didn't get enough episodes. He just kind of came to the island to fight Zayn, who was too unwell, so Cyrus fought him. Not really worth talking about. This guy is not even worth talking about. He didn't really do anything. The Mako Tsunami. What did Mako Tsunami do? He was alright. Like he was this fisherman who loved the sea, even though the sea killed his dad. But he wasn't bad. You have Dark Magician Girl. It's not really Dark Magician Girl, it's the girl who's Dark Magician Girl in ancient Egypt. Shouldn't really, I find her a wee bit boring. Then you have the Chaz. Who wouldn't know that? Who wouldn't know about the Chaz? I like the Chaz. He's a good rival to Jaden, and I liked his friggin' relationship with the Ojamas and how his deck kept changing. I'll go back to these characters later. It's probably controversial, but I don't like Marek. People say, you always hear videos saying, "Oh, Marek's the best villain Yugioh ever had." It's like bullshit. He wasn't. I'd say he's annoying. I put him in annoying. He's probably the best annoying character, but he was still annoying. He kept repeating himself over and over, and he did my head in. He goes, "Those fools won't know that I am the one who was pretending to be the good guy here." It's like, God's sake. So, if he hadn't repeated himself so much, he would have been a good character, manipulating people from the shadows, but he just did my head in. Pegasus was a far better villain than him. You didn't get enough screen time. Marcel was pretty boring. Pegasus is one of the best characters. Maybe Pegasus is even, you'd say he's the GOAT as well, just because he's like the first big baddie that he captures Yuki's grandpa, and then he captures people's souls. He makes him take part in his tournament, and he's like sitting there with his wine glass, and he's obsessed with cartoons. He's like this evil man, but at the same time he's a very childish personality, and he's very whimsical in the way he speaks, and the way he's dressed, and the way he looks. He's very theatrical in his big fancy tournament. No, he's just the. Whenever people think of Yu-Gi-Oh villain, like that's who they think of with Pegasus. Pretty good guy. This guy's boring. He's just a referee, not even worth talking about. She's another referee. She's probably slightly better than him. She's like a cowgirl. That sort of makes her a wee bit better. I thought she was boring. This girl who had a crush on Jack Atlas. She's like his assistant. Not really very interested. Don't know you. Who are you again? I remember this girl. Oh yes, I remember her. She's boring. She's probably the most boring villain out of all the Yu-Gi-Ohs. There's like the Dark Signers. She's probably the most boring. Like, she wants to resurrect her brother. It's like this beautiful woman, but not really much substance to her. This guy, not really much. Where is he now? I freaking lost him. There he is. It's not really much to. Well, no. What made this guy interesting was whenever you dueled against him, he was all about taking damage. Like the samurai sword would go right through him, and he was holding it, and that was pretty cool. And he could beat people up and stuff, despite being like an old middle-aged man. He's pretty. I actually like this guy. He's a pretty good character. Who else? Fuck you, Mokuba. You little shit. You're annoying. Right. Seto Kaiba's brother, but he doesn't have any of his charisma. This guy was a wee bit disappointing. This ninja guy, like they bigged him up to be like this really good duelist, but then he lost most of his games. He lost like all the big jewels. He was interesting, like the way he moved about like a ninja and stuff. I thought he was that's what made him interesting enough. But then you have this little fella. He was alright. He's like, dude. He's like this hippie sort of character. The little, I forget his name, Bialski or something. That's your fella, Mr. What's his name? Love guy didn't get enough screen time. These are like the main. These are like the recurring villains in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Season 4. They're very logical. Just stick them in mid. There's Hunter Pace. Hunter Pace was interesting enough, I suppose, with his cards, his flaming skulls. He was all about speed. He was alright. This guy was. He's probably one of the better characters, and I don't know. I want to hear my kid when he's born. Aster Phoenix. Gee, there's not many bloody characters. This is taking ages just to get up here. Aster Phoenix is a wee bit of a know-it-all, so he was. I thought he was an interesting character. Another rival to Jaden of his Destiny heroes, and he was all about Destiny and fate and all that there. Nico Smiley. Nico Smiley was alright. It wasn't bad. He was an interesting looking character. He didn't get enough screen time though. Noah was an interesting enough villain, I suppose. The way he's like a digital mind. How much of this do I have to go through? He's like pulling the strings in the digital world, and he was evil at the start, but then he found out it's because he got trapped. He died, and his brain got trapped in this virtual world. And then what happened after that? And then he checks the. There's actually a lot to him. I know. I think he's a solid villain. Actually, stick him up here. My voice is getting fucking tired, and we're not even halfway through this fucking list. I think we're about halfway, but he actually escapes with Mokuba's body, but then he feels guilty, and then he's very tragic character. He turns evil due to circumstances, but then he sees the light, and he's a very human character. This guy, I actually like this guy, but he just didn't get enough screen time. He was obsessed with his little clock, but he didn't get enough screen time. Odeon was a very I liked Odeon better than Mark anyway. He's very honourable. He put up a good fight against. He really should have beat Joey Wheeler, but Mark stopped him, which was dumb. Yeah. Don't really have too much to say. Just because there's so much characters to bloody go for, it's ridiculous here. You didn't get enough screen time. I don't even. Oh, that character was a pain in the arse. I didn't like him. I remember him. He was in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexel. He was annoying as hell. This guy was a bit boring. He didn't have any backstory. He was in the films. Oh yeah, these boys. These boyos. The brothers. The Paradox brothers. Stick them in mid. I like their rhyming. You were annoying. What else was there? Who's this? Oh, that was the I don't know. I don't know where to put you. Just put you in born, I suppose. Who else? We have Sato. It's not fuck's sake, how much do we have to go through here? There's too many characters. This is like Seto from the past. He's not as good as the current Seto Kaiba, but he was a bit more honorable. He's a solid character. Shadi was a very mysterious character. How he would appear randomly and throughout the story. He didn't really do that much, though, did he? Other than just say what to do. I don't know. This guy Viper. Viper was I actually like Viper, so that he was like this very strict teacher, and he had an ulterior. He was collecting energy of students to bring his son back to life. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. Don't know who you are. Don't know who you are. Rebecca did my head in. She got more tolerable later on, but she was more annoying than anything. Raphael is in the original Yugioh. Some people probably don't remember him because he was in the filler arc, but he was, in my opinion, he was the best villain in the Silver Calcos arc. I actually quite like Raphael. I think you put him about there. I need to organize some of these guys here. I think that's about right. Raphael, he beat the Pharaoh because he was able to trick the Pharaoh into using the seal, and then he showed the Pharaoh that the Pharaoh was evil. He had evil in his heart. It was interesting. You have to watch it. Anyway, this guy, I thought this guy was he wasn't really anything special at the start. He had a food deck, but then later on he became more interesting when he teamed up with the fisherman fella. Where's the fisherman fella? There's the fisherman fella there. The fisherman fella just didn't get enough screen time. The food guy got a wee bit more screen time, which is why he's up there, but the fisherman guy just didn't get enough screen time. He had like a craftiness about him, but that was it. I don't know who you are. Rex Goodwin was a mysterious character. Where's Rex Goodwin? He's like he's presented as a good guy, like who's trying to save the world, but then he fuck, where is he now? But then he sort of had, well, he becomes like an anti-villain where he thinks he's doing the greater good, but he's not. My voice is getting tired, which is why, fuck's sake, there's too many fucking characters here. Who the hell is it? This guy looks familiar, but I don't remember him. I just gotta try and get rid of some of these characters. That guy was boring as hell. I remember that guy. I'm trying to see if there's any other characters. Jesus Christ, my voice. I want to finish this all in one day, get it freaking over with. Unfortunately, I think I know all those characters, so I'm gonna have to talk about each one. Rex Raptor wasn't as good as Weevil. He was a good adversary for Joey at the start in Joel's Kingdom. But he just wasn't as interesting as Weevil Underwood. Where is Weevil? Fuck it, I'll find him later. Oh yeah, speaking of which, this guy's like a crappy version of Weevil Underwood. He's like the bargain basement version of Weevil Underwood. Just put him in the one. Who else do we have here? This kid was interesting as like an emotionless kid, but the kid has a backstory, like a very tragic backstory. But again, they didn't really say. The kid doesn't really say very much. So mid. You didn't get enough screen time. Roko, I suppose he's one of the better characters in Yugioh's Axel. I don't know, between Born and Mid. Put him in Mid. Bakura, sort of. I don't know, the good Bakura, like nobody really cares about the good Bakura, do they? It's the evil Bakura, which is the evil Bakura is up here. That's who we care about. We don't really care about the good Bakura. Get rid of you first. The monkey didn't get enough episodes. Sister, where did I put her? She didn't get enough episodes. This girl didn't get enough episodes. You didn't get enough screen time. Just cleaning out some of these. What else is there? The microphone's still working at least. You were boring. That guy was annoying. I'm just getting rid of some of the fluff characters. He was a wee bit annoying. He had in the English dub he had a very annoying voice. I don't know you. You didn't get enough screen time, old man. You're boring. Don't know you. She was a wee bit annoying. I didn't like this guy. He was like the main villain in one part. I thought his voice did my head in. The old boy just didn't get enough episodes. Where have we left here? See, we don't know anything about Zark. Right, now. Oh, there needs to be more to get rid of here. Right, I find Weevil anyway. Right. I find that kid annoying. There's Shoddy. I thought we already put Shoddy in the group. Whatever. Oh no, that's oh, whatever. What else is there? Who the hell's that? Friggin' Chumley. They only got Chumley's lower half. So they did. I didn't like Rally. Rally was annoying. The most boring character in Yu-Gi-Oh history definitely deserves to be in the boring category. What else do we have? Oh, there's like a filler character. He was funny. He was Tarzan, pretty much. It's just Tarzan. Nothing more to say. This guy was interesting, but he just didn't have enough episodes. He brainwashed the girls into turning against the main characters. He just didn't get enough screen time. Serenity was a wee bit annoying. Well, yes. Shari LeBlanc. I think Shari LeBlanc was an interesting female character. When Aki sort of got a bit boring, she kind of filled in as the best female character at that point in the show. But like she started off good, but then she didn't really. She kind of petered out at the end, I think. But I put her as mid. Who else? This guy's actually a boy. I thought he was actually quite interesting. He was the main villain in a filler arc, but I quite liked him. Put him as solid. He had these sort of girly deck, and he's a hacker and shit. The principal was funny, but he was okay, but he didn't really. A lot of the characters in GX were funny, so I just put him in mid. She did my head in. Let's see here. Who's Grandpa? Grandpa's interesting. So he is whenever he has his shot. When he was doing that duel against Joey, he was interesting, but a lot of the times he just fades into the background. What else do we have here? Sharky Boy. I'd say we'll go Weevil. Do Weevil next. Weevil's a pretty good villain, so he's better than Rex anyway. Let's see, where do we put Weevil now? I'll put Weevil maybe an outstanding, just because he's like a character that you love to hate. Who else do we have? Fucking hell. The main character was annoying. He got better later on, but he was still pretty annoying. I don't remember her. I actually like this guy. He lost all his matches, but he was a very dramatic fella. Whenever he was on the screen, he was always interesting. I was always rooting for him, even though he lost all his matches. Who do we have left? Guy was a wee bit boring. Who else do we have? Jesus Christ. If they hadn't they've put too many freaking characters in this list. Ridiculous. Shark. Where does Shark go? Shark's alright. He's a decent rival. I'm not really into Saxel. This guy didn't really do that much. He's a bit boring. This fella Trudge, he got a lot of screen time at the start, but then he petered out at the end. Say he's mid. I think he's mid. Policeman. Grandpa, sort of the same as Grandpa. Same as that Grandpa. She was only in like 2 episodes or some shit, but I thought she was interesting for Amazon deck. Right, the granny was a wee bit boring. Well, she didn't get. She was alright. Nothing really. I don't think anybody watched the show for the granny. Fuck's sake. How much do we have left here? Fuck. Oh, this is fucking shit. There's too many characters. I don't feel like talking about them anymore. You know what? I'm fucking tired. Let's just end it here. The next time I do a stream, I might finish off the rest of them and then tidy up some of these characters because some of them aren't in the right rankings, you know. But we'll finish this next time because freaking hell, I'm reaching here. Look at the amount of characters I've freaking rated here. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I end the stream here. People were supposed to show up, but I had technical issues, so whatever. Anyway, see you later. Bye. Where's the outro?
I gotta call the plant and warn them!
The fingers you have used to dial are too fat. To obtain a special dialing wand, please mash the keypad with your palm now.